YouTube family.
All right, YouTube, we are back, and tonight we have A Time for Choosing by what man name is? What man name is?
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Oh, you you know what picked this video out? You know the name, man. When I listened to some of it, man, I was like, man, astonished of how he was speaking, man. You know, I'm like, dang, man. You see how the times was back then, how he was breaking down, you know, how the economy was and what was going on. He said it's not even the left and right thing, man. It's about humanity. You know what I'm saying? You know, building up America. It's about people. You know, and that's what really caught my eye. So, and I listened to some of it, man. But I think you guys gonna like it, man. I'm glad my son recommended this to us. But other than that, man, this is a good video.
So this was done in 1964.
I mean, man,
but
things were a lot different back then.
But things were a lot different then, and it was done during a time when he was speaking in support of a Republican presidential nominee at the time.
Because he was once a Democrat.
He was once a Democrat until 1962, and then on forward, he was part of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
So I wonder what made him change his mind. I wonder. All right, you ready?
Let's get into it.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we take pride in presenting a thoughtful address by Ronald Reagan. Mr. Reagan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you and good evening. The sponsor has been identified, but unlike most television programs, the performer hasn't been provided with a script. As a matter of fact, I have been permitted to choose my own words and discuss my own ideas regarding the choice that we face in the next few weeks. I have spent most of my life as a Democrat. I recently have seen fit to follow another course. I believe that the issues confronting us cross party lines. Now, one side in this campaign has been telling us that the issues of this election are the maintenance of peace and prosperity. The line has been used, we've never had it so good. But I have an uncomfortable feeling that this prosperity isn't something on which we can base our hopes for the future. No nation in history has ever survived a tax burden that reached a third of its national income. Today, 37 cents out of every dollar earned in this country is the tax collector's share. And yet our government continues to spend $17 million a day more than the government takes in. We haven't balanced our budget 28 out of the last 34 years. We've raised our debt limit 3 times in the last 12 months. And now our national debt is 1.5 times bigger than all the combined debts of all the nations of the world. We have $15 billion in gold in our treasury. We don't own an ounce. Foreign dollar claims are $27.3 billion. And we've just had announced that the dollar of 1939 will now purchase 45 cents in its total value. As for the peace that we would preserve, I wonder who among us would like to approach the wife or mother whose husband or son has died in South Vietnam and ask them if they think this is a peace that should be maintained indefinitely. Do they mean peace, or do they mean we just want to be left in peace? There can be no real peace while one American is dying someplace in the world for the rest of us. We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening. Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the founding fathers. Not too long ago, 2 friends of mine were talking to a Cuban refugee, a businessman who had escaped from Castro. And in the midst of his story, one of my friends turned to the other and said, "We don't know how lucky we are." And the Cuban stopped and said, "How lucky you are. I had some place to escape to." And in that sentence, he told us the entire story. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down. Man's old age dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism. And regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course.
Wow. That was good.
Yes.
And that was a short version?
Yeah, that was a short version.
Wow, that was good, man.
The longer one is about 30 minutes long or so. So if we lose freedom here, where do we go?
He said there's no left or right. It's up
or down.
Wow,
I mean,
man. Wow.
It's just like, okay, is it a loss or a gain?
Yeah.
You know, I wrote down something that he was talking about. The book hadn't been audited in like 30 years. So I guess I heard through the grapevine or in the news that they're hiring like all these new IRS agents to, audit, I guess, businesses. Why don't those brand new IRS agents they just hired audit the government's books?
Exactly.
Can we find out what the money is? Or,
I like that he was being truthful, man.
Yeah.
He was saying, look, man, we in debt.
But you want to be transparent.
And that's what it's about, man.
It's about the people.
I mean, Biden get up, we're doing good, like, man.
When he get up,
man.
from where?
He get up when he tries to stand up. He
What
says,
he's getting up from?
I don't know. He getting up from somewhere.
The bike of the steps. Which one?
When he stands up, he says, we're doing good. Everything is, the gas prices are going down. And I'm like, man, come on, let's be real, man.
Everything's just dandy.
Let's be real. Let's talk about this economy,
Yes.
man. Let's deal with this.
I mean,
it's sad, man.
Yeah, it's just about, he has to be honest with himself on what is going on. You turning a blind eye to a country that you're running as the president of the United States. So again, I mean, it's a very valid question. He said, if we lose freedom, where do we go? I mean,
where do we go? Everyone is coming here.
Yeah.
So if we lose freedom, where do we go? Canada? Where do we go? That's a good question.
So something just has to be done. I mean, if this was
it
made
gets so bad, people be going back across the border. They be leaving.
We'll be trying to go with them.
We'll be going with them, man. And then they have the news. They're going back across the border.
They prefer capitalism or whatever. It's like, what the heck?
Wow.
So 1964.
Man, that was a good speech, man.
1964,
I love that, man.
and it was, like I said, it was just a short version. So there is a longer one.
He kept it real, man.
But
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. But he also said how he was a longtime Democrat, which is like we were as well. And then you begin to shift your ideals to fit a different narrative, because that narrative, you try to force yourself into something and you just don't fit into it.
Don't.
So, I mean, that's just fate.
Man. There's no left or right. It's up or down.
No left or right, just up or down. So we think about Republican and Democrat. Yes, you want the right person for the job, but yes, when it all boils down to it, it's the up or down. But again, I mean, I don't want to be on the wrong side either. So that's just what I got.
Okay.
All right, anything else you want to add?
That's it, man. He said a mouthful.
He did. In that short amount of time. See,
Yeah.
that was short. All right, YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe and continue to check us out as we bring you more content. Peace.
Peace.